Hey everyone, it's Tawney Seren here with Peepshow Toys, and today we're going to talk about coping with stress during this trialing time. This time where we're asked to self-isolate, to practice social distancing, where jobs may have been taken from us or otherwise limited, where income is unsure, where everyone together as a collective is struggling in one way or another. This world right now is filled with bad news everywhere you go. It's filled with, a lot of worries that have us weighing down. And whether you have a virus or you're afraid to get one, we're all practicing that, that ability to just kind of remove ourselves from things. And whether you are an introvert or extrovert, that can affect you in many, many different ways. It's important to understand that it is okay that you feel this anxiety, that you feel this stress, and in some cases that you feel this depression. We are in a fight or flight response for this big tragedy that is happening, and we have no option to flight. And so our bodies are constantly in this state of fight. What should I do? We're bombarded with advertisements that tell us we should be doing something with this time, that now's the opportunity to take advantage of all of these things, that, now that you've been given time, if you don't do anything with it, that's, time isn't the issue. They're everywhere, and they're telling us to, buck up, to work hard, to try harder, or just be okay, or pretend to be okay. And the fact of the matter is, again, it is okay to not feel okay right now. We are all going through this collective kind of traumatic event where we are worried for our lives, or we're worried for the lives of our loved ones. And we want to smash it, and without, a clear way to do that right now, it can really weigh heavily on you. However, there are some things at home that can help alleviate this stress just a little bit. But again, first and foremost, it's important to understand that it is okay to feel this way. It really, really is. It's okay to want to sleep all day. It's okay to want to just watch something on TV that isn't the news and kind of, enjoy that. It's fine. You just need to make sure that you take care of yourself right now. Some of the ways you can do that, I recommend staying away from large news sources. I recommend checking once a day at most, and certainly no time before you start heading to bed. You don't want to start having your brain think about all of these things that woulda happened, depending on what news sources you're looking at, and the doom and gloom and everyone losing their jobs. And that is something that can really weigh heavily, especially during sleep. And finding that time to get a good sleep schedule and kind of feel recharged while you're at home taking care of yourself is incredibly important. So if you're going to look at news sources, try to limit it to about one a day, and then keep your television intake something a little bit more lighthearted that helps a little bit stay away from those disaster prepper shows, and try to kind of fill your mind with something that brings you comfort, whatever genre that may be. Now, also make sure that you do some sort of exercise. I understand that right now it's hard to want to even go outside for a walk, despite, in some cases, people being able to. It's hard to want to go out and enjoy. But even if you're introverted to begin with and you don't find yourself leaving the house that often, there are still cases where you're running errands and leaving and getting a little bit of that fresh air. So it is important that you do something to kind of get your body in motion, to get outside for a moment, even if that just means you're stepping out onto your back porch or lifting some weights in your living room. Whatever the case, just make sure that you are giving your body that outside time that it needs, whether it's brief or not, and a little bit of that physical activity. I recommend throwing in your favorite show and just doing 30 minutes to an hour of some sort of physical activity, or stretching or yoga or weightlifting while you're watching that. Just as long as you're keeping your body in motion, it will help with your sleep cycle. I also recommend doing something for your mind every day, whether that is learning, but if you're on the internet, but if you're trying to kind of steer away from social media in general, then I recommend, listening to a positive podcast. There are so many creators right now that are locked inside and coming out with these fantastic new podcasts or music lists on Spotify, things that you can listen to that are just going to be able to calm you and give you that time with your brain that you need so desperately, or that time away to think and to learn about something that isn't, the doom and gloom out there right now. I also recommend meditation. Now, if you're like me and when someone recommended meditation to you, you went, there's no way I'm going to be able to shut my brain off for 5 minutes. Even if you are not able to meditate and get into that state of relaxation, having controlled breathing for a few minutes a day can really help center you and bring you down and have you focus on something other than the stresses, even if that's just breathing without being able to obtain that full kind of body relaxation that meditation can be. Just take time to breathe, to look around you, to enjoy. And last but not least, I recommend just picking up your area. It can be very, very hard to do things. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's been wearing the same sweatpants for 3 days. But it is important to understand that if your area around you is feeling a little bit more put together, even if you aren't feeling that way, it can assist in some ways. Also, it's very, very important to acknowledge the fact that asking for help is okay. We understand that, this is not as easy as walking into a doctor's office or walking in to see your counselor or going over to a friend's house and receiving that sort of, one-on-one face-to-face assistance. But there are still so many different ways that you can get help mentally and just kind of emotionally right now during this very trying time. So there are a lot of resources online for those who are willing to meet online, and it's also okay and not weak to reach out to your friends and family and say, I'm not okay. It might surprise you who's not okay as well. And having that conversation, taking part in things like Zoom or these video chats or these ways that you can still connect with people and not fully isolate yourself, isolating physically but not fully mentally and emotionally with others, can be a way to kind of help other people and help yourself in the process. It's okay. It's not weak. Ask for help. But again, I must remind you, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to not want to do any of these things, but just make sure to take care of yourself, whatever that means for you, and acknowledge the fact that there's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling these things. There's nothing wrong with you if you aren't starting 5 businesses right now or seeking, a way to make money at home. Sometimes it's just okay to feel what you're feeling, allow yourself to kind of complete that, that cycle, that panic cycle that you might have, and just, acknowledge that we're in a tough time right now, and it's okay, and we are going to be okay. Just make sure to take care of yourself and take it one day at a time. Thank you everyone so much. Again, I'm Tawney Seren here with Peepshow Toys, and we want you to know it's okay to feel what you're feeling, and we care about you. So thank you all so much, and stay home, stay healthy, try to stay sane. Bye everybody.